Thank you, Dr. Glimsher, and for your entire executive team for the opportunity to present. More importantly, thanks to all of you in the audience here today. Without you, the Dana-Farber would not be doing the amazing things that they are doing, but our job is not done, and that's why we're here today. Overcoming cancer's biggest challenges together. Since 2002, October 25th has not been a day that I've looked to with excitement. You see, 20 years ago today, my dad passed after a 5-week battle with advanced squamous cell cancer. Yes, I said 5 weeks. So many twists and turns, and not one of them good. Those 5 weeks as a family, we felt like Keanu Reeves chasing that speeding bus in the movie Speed. Dad never had a chance. I was 35 when Dad passed. He was 61. Way too young. So today I do want to dedicate my talk to Big Chuck, who I know is looking down and smiling. Dad, I love you and miss you. October 25th, 2015, 7 years ago today, our lives changed yet again forever. You see, that was the day that my primary care, Dr. Christina Riacobo at the Brigham, called at 6:15 p.m. with some really tough news. I'll never forget her words. Chuck, is Liz there? I just got the CT scan results back. I normally like to do this face-to-face, but we need to move fast. You have a tumor the size of your fist on your right kidney. I'm quite sure you have renal cell cancer. At 48 years of age, driving down life's highway, married to my high school sweetheart, raising 4 amazing daughters, and in a job that I loved, that was not the kind of news I expected to hear, nor wanted to hear. What did she say? I have renal cell cancer? What does this mean? Am I going to die? What do we do? How do we tell the girls? Starting to see why I don't like October 25th. Fast forward to today, October 25th, 2022, when Sarah and team approached me about a month ago to ask if I would present today. I said to myself that today was yet another chance to redefine the meaning of October 25th. It's something that I've been trying to do since 2002 when Dad passed, and certainly something we as a family have been doing since my cancer diagnosis in 2015. You see, in my house, adversity is opportunity. We can sit around and whine about the cards that we've been dealt, or we can fight. In my house, we fight. We can sit around and ask, why did this or that happen? Or we can look for the blessings in the God winks. In my house, we look for the blessings in the God winks. We also look for the heroes and the helpers while focusing on the positive and being thankful for how blessed we really are. Stravin strong is the motto we've been using since October 25th, 2015. It's built on 3 primary pillars: faith, family, and friends. All three of those are key components to why I'm still standing here 7 years into this fight. It's rooted in faith, hope, and love. And the piece that weaves all of this together, the piece that holds all of this together, is the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. I'm honored to be here today because I want to use this as an opportunity to pay it forward, and I hope my story shows you why your support of the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute is more important than ever before. What's the difference between my battle and my dad's 5-week battle? I have the Dana-Farber, and he didn't. As I crossed the finish line during the 2022 Jimmy Fund Walk a few weeks ago, it really hit me. Where would I be without the Dana-Farber, the Jimmy Fund, or Dr. Tony Sherreri? 10 years ago, somebody like me would not be here today. 10 years ago, a guy like me with advanced renal cell cancer would have already passed. You see, there are 200 distinct types of cancer out there. 1.9 million Americans are diagnosed each year with cancer. Almost 610,000 Americans die each year from cancer. Unfortunately, in my case, renal cell is one of the least understood cancers. Almost 80,000 Americans are diagnosed each year with renal cell. Nearly 1/3 of those patients have metastatic disease at the time of diagnosis, and only 12% of these patients survive for 5 years or longer. Worldwide, there are close to 450,000 new cases per year. Renal cell is one of the most rapidly increasing cancers in adults between 25 and 50 years old. Renal cell kills 14,000 of us a year in the US. That's almost 40 people like me per day. It's the number 6th ranked cancer in men and the number 9th ranked cancer in women. But as my case shows, as Tony says, there is hope. Because I had the tumor the size of my fist, we didn't have much of an option. The tumor and the kidney had to come out. So the tumor and the kidney came out 8 weeks after diagnosis. There was some question based upon where my tumor was located that there were some floater cells in the system. Because of that, we weren't done, and that's where Tony and I first met. I had 3 options in 2015 post-op. A 48-year-old father of 4 diagnosed today has almost 20 therapies, thanks to the research that each of you supports when you support the Dana-Farber. We are learning more and more every day, but as the last panel talked about, research costs money. I've exhausted all standard of care therapies. For me, it's all about the clinical trials, like the one that I started on January 4th of this year, where I was Dana-Farber's first patient in a HIF-2 inhibitor trial. But for us and for me, it's all about the next drug that we find to manage my cancer. I have an aggressive and complicated form of renal cell. I'm a realist. I know that my cancer will morph and adapt and figure out how to outsmart the trial drugs that I'm currently on. At that point, we will need to move on to something else. 6 protocols in, my hope is that there's something else in Tony's toolbox. If not, things could get complicated like they were this time last year when I blew through 4 protocols in 4 months. As I look back over the last 7 years, I've said to myself, sometimes I know how Cinderella felt. You see, prior to my diagnosis in 2015, 2014 was an incredible year for us. I had landed a fantastic job at the National Fire Protection Association. My 4 daughters, Kayla, Mary Beth, Colleen, and Megan, were all doing great in school and growing up fast. Liz and I had celebrated our 22nd wedding anniversary, and we had just purchased the second home of our dreams down the Cape. Life was good. October 23rd, 2015, Cinderella's run started to end. It was supposed to be a fun day. Senior year, parents' weekend at Stonehill with Kayla and the other girls. The minivan was packed with items for the tailgate. The weather was incredible, and we were set for a great day with Kayla, her roommates, and their families. I'll never forget telling the girls to head to the minivan, because it usually takes 20 minutes to get everybody up and running in our house. Liz and the girls head down the driveway. I head into the house to go to the bathroom. Wait a second, that doesn't look right. Is that blood? I finish my business, wash my hands, and pop my head out the door and ask Liz to come here for a second. I'm shaking. What is this? Being married to a nurse comes in very handy on days like this. It's blood in your urine, you knucklehead. What do you think it is? Are you passing a stone or something? I tell her no, and she says, okay, let's call and see who's covering for Dr. Iacobo this weekend. I go to jump on the phone. Liz tells the girls to come into the house for a second. The weekend doctor who's on the phone looks at my file and tells me that I must have a UTI from the antibiotics that I was on for the chest cold I was battling. She tells me to lay low for the weekend and follow up on Monday. Liz and the girls head down to Stonehill for the weekend. I cuddle up on the couch and watch football all weekend. Life's still pretty good. Sunday night comes along, and Liz and I head to bed. What do you think? Should I call tomorrow? I only had blood in the urine one other time that day, and nothing on Sunday. Yeah, something isn't right, says the nurse. Better to be safe than sorry. Monday comes. We're smack in the middle of the budget season at work. I head to the office at 6 a.m., make myself a note to call Dr. Iacobo's office at 8. Around 8 o'clock, I pick up the office phone to dial 850 Boylston when my cell phone rings. It's Dr. Iacobo. Chuck, you've called here on a weekend? You've never done that in 20-something years. What's going on? We talk for a bit, and she says, see you at 10. You know the rest. By 6 p.m. that night, our life has changed dramatically. It's 2:30 in the morning of October 26th. I can't sleep. Cancer? Tumor? We need to move fast? Am I going to die? What does this all mean? Liz and I certainly shed a lot of tears that night. Neither of us slept at all. Well, if cancer's going to hit the house, at least it's me. I can manage this. I'm glad it isn't Liz or any of the girls. Then it hit me. I'm 48 years old. I'm not afraid to die, but I have way too much to see. That was the start of the checklist, where I started to list the things that cancer was not going to get in the way of. The first was see all 4 girls graduate from high school, because at the time, 2 out of the 4 had graduated. See all 4 girls graduate from college. Celebrate 25 years with Liz. See all 4 girls get engaged. Walk all 4 girls down the aisle. Celebrate our 30th anniversary with Liz. And ultimately welcome the addition of grandchildren to the clan. And after being a girl dad the last 28 years, you know that I'm pulling for boys. But more importantly, continue to live my life on my terms and continue to be the father of 4 amazing daughters and the husband to my high school sweetheart. I mentioned earlier that there are 3 pillars that have gotten me, Liz, and the girls through the last 7 years. I think the family and friends piece will be pretty obvious when you see the next few pictures. I'm the oldest of 3, Liz is the middle of 6, and we have an amazing Irish Catholic family. I'm so grateful to all of our friends and family who have helped me during this odyssey the last 7 years. You see, as a patient, I will not call it a journey. A journey's too simple in moving from point A to point B. Any of us fighting cancer knows that this fight is not a simple fight. An odyssey has ups and downs, twists and turns, and if you're lucky, a few heroes along the way. I've witnessed many heroes just by walking in the front door at the Dana-Farber every 2 weeks for the last 7 years. This is where the faith piece really kicks in for me. As an Irish Catholic kid from Dorchester, there's one verse from the Bible that really sticks with me during my fight. 3 things will last forever: faith, hope, and love. And the greatest of these is love. Because of the Dana-Farber, I have developed a greater appreciation for all 3 of these the last 7 years. I have the utmost faith in Dr. Tony Sherreri and my care team. I have hope that someday we will find a cure. But I never, ever, ever expected that I was going to develop such a deep respect and love for the people helping me in this fight. The greatest of these is certainly love. Love is at the center of the care they provide and why the people at the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute are so special to us. Now, there are some folks on Yawkey 11 who at times worry about the bromance that Tony and I have. Liz and the girls actually do get a little jealous sometimes too. This is where I'm going to choke up. But let me tell you, the faith that I have in him, the hope provided by Tony and my entire care team, it keeps me going. The love for all of them runs deep. How can it not? Look at where we are 7 years into this fight. The Stravins are supported by an incredible blanket of love every time we walk into the Dana-Farber. Now, I know I'm going to miss 1 or 2, but I'd be remiss if I did not acknowledge that blanket of love that surrounds me whenever I walk through the doors. In addition to the great care from Tony, it's the entire team on Yawkey 11, starting with Brenda and Lisa at the front desk, Gabe, John, and the other clinical assistants who take my vitals each week, Stacy, Christina, Lauren, and Patrick, Tony's incredible nurse practitioners. Sage, Katie, Margara, and Judy are the best research nurses around. Tina and the Y11 infusion nurses, Jen Musgrove, Elizabeth, Jenna, Kay, Otto, Dawn, Bree, Michael Camo, Kerry McVeigh, along with the rest of the team, they're some of the kindest human beings you will ever meet. Michael Saltieri, Dory Freeman, and Jose from the research team, they've become a second set of kids to Liz and I. Max McMahon and the social worker team, they look out for us from a mental perspective. And it's not just that group. My care team extends down to Y2 and lab services, where I call them Charlie's Angels. Roxanne, Jeff, Kelly, Joanne, Kerry, Jennifer, Marilyn, they're the first people that greet us every 2 weeks when we're there. I go across the street to L1, where Marion, Leslie, MJ, Dave, Sean, Sydney, April, they take very good care of me every 8 weeks when I'm there for my scans. And my team also runs down to Route 9 now in Chestnut Hill, where Amanda, Sandy, and others look out for me during an occasional visit there too. As we've gotten involved in helping spread the news on the great work that Dana-Farber does, my care team extends beyond the medical group. I need to add Vic Warren and her team, Colleen, Amy, and Zach from the walk team, Jan and the incredible running programs team, Sarah, Anna, and the donor relations team. You're all on the list too. They've all been amazing to interact with. As the saying goes, it does take a village. All of these folks have become an extension of our family over the last 7 years. As I've said before, I'm living proof of everything that the Dana-Farber represents. I know I'm not here today without the Dana-Farber. The trust, the love, the respect and admiration that I have for the team is also one of the reasons why our oldest daughter, Kayla, left her job in the for-profit space this year to go to work for the Dana-Farber philanthropy team. As she said to Liz and me one night during the interview process, I've witnessed how the Dana-Farber has lifted us up the last 7 years. I want to do that for other families. It's also a reason why the Stravin girls have raised close to $200,000 over the last 4 years through the Dana-Farber Marathon Challenge, the Run for the Dana-Farber and the Boston Marathon, and the Jimmy Fund Walk program. I truly can say that I know what it feels like to be blessed living with an advanced and aggressive cancer. It sounds funny, but it's true. I feel this way because of the Dana-Farber. As Kayla said, we've been lifted up by the Dana-Farber despite battling a crazy form of cancer. We've had an opportunity to lift other patients up over the last few years, and we as a family will continue to do so. You all have an opportunity to lift other patients up. You have an opportunity to continue to provide hope as we work collectively to find a cure. Dana-Farber has led the way in cancer care for 75 years now. What the Dana-Farber does changes lives everywhere, and because of the way it changed my life, I'm proud to be in front of you here today. I've witnessed firsthand not only incredible patient care, but I've also experienced the best treatments possible and collaborated directly with my team by participating in life-saving clinical trials as they explore tomorrow's cures through cutting-edge research. It's one of the reasons why I'm not afraid to be here today to tell you my story and speak for the Dana-Farber patients who can't speak for themselves. You see, my punch list didn't stop the night of October 26th. I'm more focused now, 7 years into this fight, on enjoying life and smelling the roses more. The girls call it Cancer Dad. Kayla and Mary Beth claim that and Kayla and Mary Beth, my older two, are here today. They claim I parent differently since my diagnosis, and that Colleen and Megan have it a lot easier now. Cancer Dad lets the younger two get away with way too much. Now, it may be the reason why the Stravin girls finally got a puppy when Quinn arrived. The best golden doodle in the world arrived in 2021. But I'm also focused on paying it forward. I want to leave this world a better place. We know there are no guarantees. I've added advocacy, awareness, and finding a cure to the list of things that I will not let cancer get in the way of. Whether it's acting as a patient advocate with KidCan, telling my story in front of government officials in DC, going on air with Tony last year on EEI, or going on Nessun this year with my oldest daughter Kayla during the radio telethon, or even just walking the Jimmy Fund walk, and recently guest lecturing at the Harvard Medical School with Tony to talk about life as a patient. I know there is more that I can do, and because of all of you, I'm doing it. Because of the Dana-Farber, because of Bill Kalin, because of Tony Sherreri, we're sticking it to this disease, and I'm living to fight another day. There is hope because of the advances that have been made, but without your help, we won't stay ahead of this disease or the other 199 cancers that are out there. It will catch up with me. It will catch up with us. You don't know this, but each of you has played a role in my success the last 7 years. Remember my checklist from October 26th? Because of your donations and your support of the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute, We are overcoming cancer's biggest challenges together. I have seen all 4 girls graduate from high school. I've seen 3 out of the 4 girls graduate from college. Liz and I are down to 3 tuition payments. And Megan, who is a junior currently, will graduate from Holy Cross, God willing, in 2024. This past New Year's, our oldest was engaged to be married. I survived my first "can I marry your daughter" discussion. More importantly, my future son-in-law survived that discussion. And Liz and I will walk Kayla down the aisle proudly in December as she marries Jimmy. Somehow in the middle of all this, Liz and I celebrated 25 years right smack, and all of a sudden this year we blew by 25 and celebrated our 30th anniversary a few weeks ago. And with any hope, we'll celebrate more anniversaries, the addition of grandchildren as we go. And I'll continue to do the advocacy stuff. And more importantly, that list will continue to grow because of your fantastic support. I just want to close and say thank you for helping me continue to make progress with my punch list. We've come a long way, but there's a long way to go. The Dana-Farber needs your continued support. I need your continued support. Liz, Kayla, Mary Beth, Colleen, Megan, and Quinn need your continued support. Cancer may have started my fight. Someday we're going to finish it, and we will overcome cancer's biggest challenges. Enjoy the rest of the night. Thank you for letting me tell my story.